so I'll read it anyway. This one's called You Are Every Man's Dream, and I'm the Girl Next Door for Larry. Underneath, we are no different. Been fucked over one too many times, beaten and taken against wills. We bore fruit from seeds laced with unreached potentials, and have done our best with hands tied behind well-bent backs. You wear your scars like slick badges, letting them have what they desire to keep them from digging too deep. I lay it out there, pulling out the heavy artillery of truth to fortify my stronghold that is weaker than paper. One hungry word crumbles me. Underneath, we are freaks, ghetto princesses, white trash queens, fierce mothers, independent thinking, in-your-face women. You are every man's dream, and I'm the girl next door. This one's called No Flash Photography.
John,
I shouldn't talk to people when I get like this, allowing my crazy to show like a cheap faded slip under an elegant silk dress. I'm made to order with each handshake, sidling deals with the devil's younger brother vanity. And hasn't he always been nipping at my heels, sweet-talking me into collaborations of flesh-bound mystery, unaware of consequences and pitfalls? My life is the painted face of a call girl who rarely gets a date she can swallow in the morning without choking on the residue of punctured loneliness and feigned empathy. And this one's a request. Teresa requested this one, so I'll read it again. I don't usually read them 2 readings in a row, but because I'm going to see her song. Faltered exchange through the doorway. I want to punch things. His face, our failed marriage, his inability to live now. His incessant need to fumble backwards in loop, his voice a skipping record. I want to scream obscenities into the phone, decimate what's left of him, knock him further into the ground so he can't resurrect Lazarus again and again and again, each time voiding another good memory from our crumbled union. But I cannot. I will not. I won't. Instead, I breathe deeply and imagine myself encased in the ribs of Gandhi. Okay, first couple too fast. This one's called Precipice. Something is on the edge. It won't jump, despite arms planed, this human hang glider waiting for an articulated wind. A freedom, a torture, an excuse to reprieve every discretion bestowed, every pillage desire forced into and out of her breath. So she exhales, inhales, exhales, and waits for something that won't jump. This one's called Northeast, and I wrote this after the poetry event, which was there, run by Lucas and Gibbs.
All right.
It's called Northeast. Side Hill Road will bear the fruits of my anger, with gravity's center thrown awry in frozen runnels made by wayward tires. The black ice laid in invisible sheets awaits a misstep. The fog veils everything in mystery, dampens the lights pulsing from the city that now only succeed in illuminating the backs of trees scattered on far hills, and it feels like forever until it reaches me. I pass grapevines lined until infinity, tied up as if ghostly arms dripping in winter's white blood, and for a moment fear rips through the center of me, only eased slightly by a whistle in the distance. My feet lose their hold, and bare hands plunge into a snowbank, muddied and cold. The sound of water runs through a tubular creek and is deafening. I say aloud, "Why are all your houses dark and empty?" The trees do not answer back, but only wave their bony fingers at me. I hear the whistle again. I want to hop a train and go far from here. I want to melt and disappear. This one's called Operative. He left in winter, 1 week after everyone makes resolutions they never intend to keep. And the sun on the moving van glass hints deception as the air reminds me this event is growing icicles in my newly freed heart. I watch him drive away, fingers holding the blinds apart, spying on the calculated selfishness that led me to this moment. The idea that change is always about bravery, as it wraps tightly around my defeated and slumped shoulders. In real time, I am finally alone. This one's called The Caterpillar. Tragedy can come quietly in small, unseen waves, never existing the same for one as it does another. At the end of the brush line, her back is turned to me, teal jogging pants smeared with the mud from thaw, thick, tucked in carnation pink flowered rain boots, hair wild over the hood of her pale sweatshirt, unzipped. I see her shoulders crumple, then shudder. A friend slides one arm around to comfort, but it is not enough to mend casual cruelty, not enough to keep anger at bay or injustice objective. She screams. This rage melting tracks down cold, wind-burned cheeks, makes legs sprint across the field in pursuit of the menace who folded the world around her feet. She runs full force, clutching the white cocoon, clutching at loss and grief, and incomprehensible sadness. I have a good friend named Carter Monroe, and every now and then he sends me a great book. And he sent me a collection of Paul Blackburn, and I had never read him before, and so I read some poems in there, and I wrote this poem after reading some of his work. It's called Lost Identity, after Paul Blackburn. We get windfalls of strength that prove to be more valuable than money and fame. Time spent choosing braided ropes of morality and conviction, the core that holds a personality erect wears thinner with age, morphs into a larger meaning loved ones rarely understand. Pride is on the line and vulnerable, so thin and trepidatiously walked that we don't know how it will ever recover. This one's called Modern Short Stories. I cling to him in the night, a creeping diurnal vine wrapping tendrils blindly with fear imprisoned in petals, anchored at his waist. A silent weed internally bound in childlike myths. The air in my lungs is thin, as if I climb to the apex of a mountain I was never meant to scale. Love, snow-capped and infamous, looms just in reach. He is sturdy, lets me belay from his strength in knowing, a belief never mentioning my weakness aloud, or gesturing my blatant cowardice in the space between us, and shows me the meaning of trust.